If you just look around you, say in a busy coffee shop or walking through a big store, you're basically watching a live financial experiment.
That's a great way to put it.
You see people making these tiny choices with their money, and those little decisions, they're setting the entire course for their future. Some are, slowly building real wealth, and others just seem perpetually stuck.
It's a real paradox, isn't it? And I think one of the biggest myths we have to get rid of is this idea that financial trouble is only a problem for people with low incomes.
Oh, absolutely.
The research shows this kind of stress, this fragility, it spans across almost all income levels. I mean, we all know people earning six figures who are completely stressed, living paycheck to paycheck.
While someone else on what looks like a modest salary is secure, relaxed even, it's not about the money coming in. It's about the habits that dictate where it all goes.
Exactly. And the numbers behind this are, frankly, pretty disturbing. They reveal a sort of fundamental misunderstanding of how modern life works.
Let's get right to it. The core fact that just stopped me in my tracks was this. 1 out of every 3 working Americans cannot cover a basic $400 emergency.
$400.
No.
It's often less than a car insurance deductible. A minor repair. And for millions, that's a full-blown catastrophe.
So it's not just a few mistakes. It's a pattern, a set of wealth-destroying habits.
That's what we're here to dissect.
Yeah.
Our mission in this deep dive is to cut through all of that noise, look at these common habits people tend to blame on, the economy or their job.
Right, and then find the actual actionable ways to break those cycles, starting right now.
Okay, so let's start with what I'd call structural flaws. These are the big picture errors. And the first one, the biggest one, is just operating without any clear financial direction.
I love the analogy here from the research, comparing your finances to a cross-country road trip.
Oh, right.
I mean, you would never just get in the car, point it west, and hope you end up in California.
Yeah.
You'd have a map, you'd plan the stops, the whole thing.
Of course not.
So why do we treat our money with so much less care than a vacation?
Well, because in the short term, it just feels easier. It's the path of least resistance. But without defined specific goals, like saying, okay, we are eliminating all our credit card debt in 18 months, or we need $20,000 for a down payment in 3 years. Well, then every financial decision you make becomes reactive. There's no intelligent way to answer the question, should I spend this money?
Because you don't know where you're going. The goal is the filter. If a purchase doesn't get you closer to that $20,000 down payment, then it's a detour.
A very expensive detour. And that lack of direction, it bleeds right into the second big flaw, this chronic lack of preparation for life's inevitable surprises.
We call them unexpected events, but they're not really, are they?
Not at all. If you own a car, it will break down. If you have a body, you will have medical bills. They are, in a way, predictable in their unpredictability.
And this is where it just becomes so inefficient. When people aren't ready for these totally normal life events, they're forced into these desperate, really expensive decisions.
That's it. The car repair goes on a high-interest credit card. Or they take out one of those awful payday loans.
And they've just turned a small problem into a massive long-term one.
Precisely. If they just had that $400 or maybe $1,000 set aside, the same event is just an inconvenience. It's not a crisis. Unpreparedness is one of the most expensive habits you can have.
And that's tied to the third one, isn't it? Living without any kind of real spending plan. Most people run their personal finances more carelessly than a kid's lemonade stand.
It leads to that classic, where did my money go? Feeling. You look at your bank account at the end of the month and you just can't trace, $1,500. That ignorance allows for all these tiny spending leaks.
Oh, the leaks are killers. The forgotten subscriptions that add up to $80 a month, the daily $6 coffee, the lunch you order 3 times a week.
They seem so small in the moment.
But you add it all up. $300 a month on convenience food, another $100 on streaming services you don't even use, and suddenly $6,000 a year has just vanished.
And when you show people that annual number, they're stunned. But the reason they let it happen, that moves us into the psychological traps. The fourth habit, living entirely in the present moment.
Well, there's a huge appeal to instant gratification. I mean, our entire world is basically designed to give us that immediate pleasure.
It is. The trap is making choices as if Your future self is some other person who will magically figure things out. You're prioritizing the dopamine hit now, assuming that retirement or future needs will, I don't know, sort of take care of
It's
themselves.
not about living like a monk, right? It's about finding a balance.
Yes, exactly. A balance between enjoying today and not becoming a burden on the person you'll be in 20 years.
Which brings us to number 5. Expensive habits that we've disguised as normal. Things that feel socially acceptable, but are just massive wealth transfers.
Let's just use some quick math. That dining out habit. We said it can easily be $500 a month. Over 20 years, that's $120,000 gone.
Wow.
And that's not even counting the lost opportunity. If that same $500 was invested each month with an average market return, you could be looking at a difference of over $350,000 in your net worth.
That's why you call it a wealth destroyer. It's not just the money you spend, it's the compounding power of the money you didn't invest.
Absolutely. And this connects to the sixth trap, which is huge. Appearance-focused spending. The performance trap.
This is making purchases based on what you think other people will think of you.
Right. Projecting an image of success, the leased luxury car, the expensive watch you financed, the constant wardrobe updates, all to look the part.
As if looking successful will somehow make you successful.
And the irony is just brutal. Truly wealthy people often do the exact opposite. They drive older, reliable cars, they wear modest clothes, they know every single dollar spent on the facade of wealth is a dollar that isn't working for them, isn't growing.
It's a vicious cycle. You spend all your money trying to look rich, which is the very thing that prevents you from ever becoming rich.
You're stuck. Okay, let's pivot a bit to more systemic mistakes. This is the seventh habit. A deep misunderstanding of debt. We're sort of taught that all debt is evil, but that's too simple.
You have to separate productive debt from destructive debt.
You do. Productive debt is a tool. It's leverage. It helps you buy assets that generate income or appreciate in value. Think of a mortgage on a rental property or a business loan to expand. It can actually speed up wealth creation.
But destructive debt, that's the killer. That's what keeps most people stuck.
That's borrowing for things that lose value instantly. Credit card balances from vacations, personal loans for furniture, financing a car that's way more than you need. It allows you to buy things you cannot afford, and it just bleeds you dry with interest payments.
And this leads right into habit number 8, which is just a backward approach to cash flow.
Yeah.
Paying everyone else first.
This is how most people operate. The paycheck comes in, and immediately it goes out. To the landlord, to the utility company, to the grocery store, and then you just hope something is left over for savings.
And there never is.
There never is. Life just expands to consume whatever income is there. The solution is to completely flip the sequence. It's the pay yourself first principle.
So the moment the paycheck hits, a set amount goes to savings and investments. Period.
You treat it like your most important bill, a non-negotiable expense.
But I can hear people saying, that's great, but I'm already stretched thin. Where does that money come from?
And that's the genius of it. It forces you to adapt. If you automatically transfer $200 on payday, you are now physically forced to live on what's left. You stop asking, can I afford to save? And you start asking, how do I make it work on this new, smaller amount?
It builds the muscle of discipline automatically. Great point. Okay, number 9 is about risk. A lot of people are so terrified of losing money that they just stagnate.
Yes. They're so afraid of loss that they keep all their money in a savings account earning, less than 1% interest. They feel safe.
But they're not safe. Inflation is silently eating away at their purchasing power every single year.
That's the thing. Not investing is its own huge risk. It's the risk of going backward. Building wealth means you have to learn to manage risk intelligently, not try to eliminate it entirely.
Which connects to number 10, this idea of linear income thinking. The only way to make more money is to work more hours.
Right. Trading time for dollars. Your income is packed by the clock. The wealth builder's mindset is completely different. It's about developing multiple passive income streams.
Things that make money for you when you're not actively working.
Exactly. Dividend stocks, rental properties, royalties, digital products. Now, this takes short-term sacrifice for sure. You might have to live smaller or work a side job to get the capital for that first investment.
But once that engine starts...
Once it starts, it begins to fuel itself, independent of your 9-to-5 job.
And finally, number 11, ignoring your own financial education. Treating what you know about money as if it's static.
The financial world changes constantly. Tax laws, investment opportunities, new technologies. If you're operating on information that's 20 years old, you are vulnerable. vulnerable to bad advice, to high fees, to predatory products because you just don't know enough to question them.
Okay, that was it. That was a heavy list. 11 habits. It might feel a bit overwhelming, but the good news here is that every single one of these can be changed. Awareness is the first step.
So let's talk about the path to breaking free. If you've just been drifting, the first thing you have to do is make your goals concrete. Not, I want to save more. It has to be, I will have $1,000 in my emergency fund in the next 90 days.
And if you're in that group that can't cover a $400 expense, that emergency fund is priority number one. Forget everything else for now. Start small. $50 is infinitely better than nothing.
That first $1,000 is a psychological game changer. It breaks the cycle of having to go into debt every time life happens.
For the spending plan issue, you have to do an honest assessment. Don't just guess. For 1 month, track every single dollar. Use an app, use a notebook, whatever. When you see in black and white that you spent $300 on delivery fees, that's the motivation you need.
And then automate. Automate the pay yourself first principle right now. Go into your banking app and set up a recurring transfer. The day you get paid, $100, $200, whatever you can start with, moves automatically to a separate savings or investment account.
It takes willpower completely out of the equation.
That's the key. It makes the healthy choice the easy choice. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Success here isn't about luck. It's about building better habits until they're second nature.
Your financial future really is determined by the decisions you start making today. And the key is not trying to fix all 11 of these things at once. Just pick 1 or 2 to start with.
So as you think about this, what's your biggest hurdle? Is it a structural one, like not having a plan? Or is it psychological, like that need to maintain appearances? Identify that one most expensive habit, that one constraint, and just commit to addressing that one thing today. That's the action that sets the whole positive compound machine in motion.